Peace and blessings, everyone. My name is Corinne Ife Alawa, and I am back again on another Let's Talk. Today, we are going to be talking about the story of Sodom and Gomorrah and Lot's faith and trust in the Most High. I have a question for you. Are you the Lot of your family? Think about it. Are you the Lot of your family? Are you going to need to be strong and trust in the Most High? I think I can answer that for you. Yep, you're gonna need to be um, strong and trust and believe in the Most High. Last week we talked about when they don't believe, approaching your family um, with the truth. And someone commented in the comment section, just shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving, basically. And unfortunately, you will need to prepare your heart to do just that. Comparing Lot's Sodom and Gomorrah with the world that we live in today, it's really, it sounds, the story, if you've read the story, it's it really does compare. It's as if we are living in that time. And I don't even want to say it's as if we are living in a time of Sodom and Gomorrah. We just are. There's no sugarcoating it. Um, Lot's strength, love, and trust in the Most High delivered him from destruction. Lot was faithful and he lived a righteous life. He had a wife, 4 daughters, 2 were married, 2 were engaged. Because Lot was faithful, the Most High sent his angels to deliver Lot from the coming destruction. Lot didn't know how close that destruction was. I wrote here that Lot didn't know destruction was coming until the Most High's holy messengers came to tell him. But I'm pretty sure there was some signs and that was going on in that time that would have given him a clue that, hey, something is getting ready to happen here. War and destruction. The warning. We are living in a time where there are wars that are going on right now. There's not even, the scripture said there's going to be wars and rumors of wars, but there's actually wars. So there's no rumor. There was a rumor, but there's no rumors now. Wars and destruction. That's what's happening right now. Lot went to his future sons-in-laws. He went to his family to warn them about the coming destruction, but they laughed at him. I would imagine that they thought he was crazy and brainwashed. Sound familiar? I think I mentioned that last week. That was my experience with my family. When you approach your family with the truth and you try to tell them to prepare for what is to come, you have to also be um, mentally prepared for rejection. Your heart has to be prepared for rejection. You have to be prepared to not take it personal and not get into your flesh and your feelings, but instead cry out to the Most High for direction and to help keep you um and to help keep you focused on him and not be distracted by all of the noise around you. Um, Remember before COVID hit, I, or I think it was at the height of COVID when we had the big lockdown. No one could go anywhere. Everyone had to wear a mask, and it was chaos. The stores were empty, and I don't know what it was about the tissue, but people were freaking out because there wasn't any tissue, but there was also no water. There was hardly any food. The shelves were empty. They still are. The shelves are still empty. Um, Even now. But anyways, I before that happened, I want to say a year before it happened, I just felt like the spirit just kept saying, prepare, stock up, put some things away. And so I began to tell my family, my family in my house and my extended family, you all are going to need to start putting things away, stock up on water, stock up on extra food, just start stocking up. And they thought that was funny, and that I was crazy. And they didn't believe me, and, and they didn't stock up. They wish they had, but they didn't. Fortunately, with, my family here, um, I was able to, because of my obedience and listening to the Most High and stocking up, we didn't lack anything. We didn't lack anything. And so we really and I wasn't worried. We were not worried, um, because we were not lacking. We weren't lacking. All praises to the Most High. The faithfulness of the Most High, keeping his promise. The Most High's word is not going to return to him void. In the book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 12, the two angels said to Lot, do you have any other relatives in the city? Now, looking back on the book of Acts, chapter 16, verse 31, and they said, believe on Yeshua, and thou shalt be saved, and thy household. So in the book of Acts, the Most High promised that he was going to save our household from destruction, you know? And then in Genesis chapter 19, verse 12, it proves there that the Most High really does keep his word. Although Genesis happened first, um, we could take Acts as a reminder that, hey, look back on Genesis 19:12, how I delivered Lot and his family, or at least those who would listen. So I'm just going to read it. Genesis chapter 19, verse 12. The two men, or the two angels, said to Lot, do you have any other relatives in this city? Do you have any sons in laws, sons, daughters, or any relatives? If you do, tell them to leave now, because we're about to destroy this city. The Most High has heard all the evil that is here, so he has sent us to destroy it. So again, just let this be a reminder of how the Most High keeps his promise. And if you have not read the story of Lot, if you have not read the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, I highly encourage you to read that. Read that because we are living in that time right now. Lot's warning fell on deaf ears, just like just kind of revisiting our conversation last week about approaching your family with the truth and that truth falling on deaf ears. I had to learn to not take it personal, not take it personal. So, um, although time had run out, Lot still tried to warn them with very little time left compared to right now. We all have family members who we are still trying. You want to say shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving, but while we're here and while we still have that window, we you know, we still try. We still try. And there's nothing wrong with that if you are prepared for rejection, you know? But anyway, so with very little time left, but the angels, they couldn't wait any longer. Lot could have gotten destroyed with the city, but the Most High had mercy on him. We don't want to be in a situation where it's time to go. It's time to move on. And we're still trying to hold on, to family members. We're still trying to drag them along. We're still trying so very hard to get them to listen. You don't want to be left behind in the midst of destruction, trying to warn them. You know, you may have to shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving. And so don't be surprised if you end up in a situation where you are not going to have time to even think or worry about it. You may not even have time to grab a go bag because it sounds like the way Lot and his family left, um, it doesn't sound like they had time to really do anything other than get up out of there. And the Most High still took care of them. And so we have to also be mindful of that as well. So Genesis chapter 19, verse 16. But Lot delayed. So the two messengers, took the hands of Lot, his wife, and his two daughters, and led them to safety out of the city. Now, in the beginning, I said that he had four daughters, right? Imagine having to leave your own children behind. You got to be prepared for that. If you are not fasted up and prayed up and really prepared to trust in the Most High and go, you will be caught in the midst of destruction. And that was Lot's wife's issue. She could not let go. I cannot do it. I have to go back and get my girls. I have to go back and get this. I need to go back. And because she didn't obey, she didn't make it. Okay. So verse 17. After they brought them out of the city, one of the angels or messengers said, "Run for your lives." So now they're just outside the city, and time is just, it has run out. And the angels are saying, "Get out of here, run. Like, you better kick up some dirt. Run for your lives and don't look back or stop anywhere in the valley. Run to the mountains, or you will be destroyed." So Lot and his two daughters obeyed the instructions of the Most High's messengers, and they ran. But Lot's wife decided, maybe I can go and convince my daughters or convince the rest of my family, convince my relatives to come with us. And she herself didn't make it because it was time to go, and she fell short of that. She turned back as she was told not to. So she didn't obey uh, instructions to save her own life. Not only that, she couldn't let go of that world. You have to be able to let go of the world. You have to know that what we have here is temporary. You can lose what you have at the snap of a finger. Anything can happen. So if the lights go out or if sudden destruction hits, what are you going to do? Your place goes up in flames. You can't go back into a burning house and get anything. You have to go. So we have to be prepared to let the things of this world, even our materials, our you have to be able to let go of worldly possessions. You have to be able to let go of people and blood relatives. It's it's an unsettling thought, but it is the truth. It's the hard reality of it. Be mentally and spiritually prepared to move on. You have to. When Yeshua taught his lessons, he would teach and he would say, "He that have ears to hear, let him hear." And he would move on. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. And then he would move on. His disciples even questioned, like, why do you speak to us in parables? How come we can hear you? How come we can understand you and nobody else can? The Most High will pick and choose who he wants to reveal himself to. The Most High will pick and choose who he wants to give ears to hear. We are not the Most High. We are his children. And so if he says, "Corinne, I need you to go," I can't go back and say, "Hey, this one," or "Hey, that one. This is your last chance." No, I've had my warning. I've got to go. I have to be prepared for that. So in this time, pray that the Most High strengthen you from within. Pray that the Most High assist you in preparing mentally to deal with having to keep it moving, having to move on. Be prepared to move on in the moment and a twinkling of an eye. You may have your house that you may lose. You may have to leave that house. You may have your house and it's stocked up with everything that you need, and you may not have time to even grab a go bag or an emergency bag or, your disaster preparedness bag. You may not have time for that. You have to also be mentally prepared. You have to also have faith. Be prepared to have faith and trust in the Most High. That's another reality that you will have to deal with. If I have to leave with just the clothes that I have on my back, I have to know without a shadow of a doubt that I trust in the Most High. You ever been in a situation where you had to make a decision and just jump out on a leap, just take a leap of faith? You know, um, you will be put in that position where you will have to take a leap of faith, and you won't have any other choice. If you are in a house that is engulfed in flames, you're not going to have time to think about you right now, right at that moment, you're going to be thinking survival mode. How can I get out of here? You're not going to be running back for a cat or a dog or your purse or your social security card or your gold, disaster preparedness bag or anything. You're just going to go. And you're not going to have a problem with it either. When you're on the other side of that door, when you have made it on the other side and you're outside of that burning house, and you look back and you see, oh, wow, it is engulfed in flames. My life was spared. That's what's going to be on your mind. Not, oh my gosh, y- you know, I left my pocketbook behind. So you just have to be prepared for change. If something happens and we suddenly don't have any lights here, uh, or something else, you you know, we just need to be prepared. Just need to be prepared and trust in the Most High. Um, build your faith and pray that the Most High turn up the volume of His voice in your ears. All right, so I will read Matthew chapter 13, verse 9. Who have ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Not everybody's going to have ears to hear. Not everyone is going to have a heart of acceptance. Be ready for pushback and don't retaliate. Go to the Father. He keeps his promise. Revelation. I'm going to end it with Revelation chapter 3, verse 22. Again, he that have an ear to hear, let him hear. May the peace and blessings of the Most High rest upon you and your family.